hasn't been around since the dawn of time. It is LGBT community. But no, everyone seems to forget about the B. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Sher and I am faking it trash, but I'm not sure if I should be anymore. So if you've been keeping up with the show Faking It, you know it's about two best friends who pretend to be lesbians to be popular, but over time, one of these said best friends ends up gaining feelings for the other. And throughout the show, she has to try to figure out her sexuality because not only is she in love with her best friend, but she's also still attracted to boys. And the whole thing, like the whole show is kind of just about like figuring out who you are and like your sexuality, and there's so much LGBTQ plus representation. And if you've been keeping up with me and you watch my videos, you know that I am so big on representation, and especially for younger kids, because a lot of kids think that there's something wrong with them if they do not have feelings for the opposite sex, or if they have feelings for the opposite sex and the same sex, kind of like me. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I am bisexual, and I have always been like, we need more like representation, we need to talk about this with young kids, we need to just show off that there are other sexualities besides heterosexual. The reason I'm making this whole video should be about how amazing faking it is, but I've come to realize that faking it has a problem with using the B word. And by the B word, I do mean bisexual. We have seen the main character, Amy, who has fallen in love with her best friend, Karma, and has also slept with Karma's boyfriend, Liam, and she's also had feelings for a boy named Felix. And she also has been in love with Karma, and she's also had a girlfriend named Reagan. Now, just hear me out. These four people are of two different genders, and she's had feelings for all of them. Do you know what that sounds like to me? Bisexuality. It sounds like she's bisexual, and yet they still haven't brought up the B word. They haven't talked about it. And when they did, they kind of stereotyped bisexuality. So we finally bring in a male bisexual character by the name of Wade. He's been in a couple episodes, and he had feelings for Karma, and he also had feelings for Shane. Now, there is a bisexual stereotype that bisexual people are always into more than one person and they can't choose. And then they bring in a bisexual character who can't choose. Wade came out to Shane and Karma. They barely had any idea of what bisexuality was. He was like, I'm bi, and they were like, you're what? And I understand that this show is also a comedy and it's kind of comical, and we know that Karma and Shane don't like each other. It's just really annoying to me because I'm like, you're finally, you know, representing, and you're finally showing off that you can have feelings for more than one gender and be into two different genders, and yet they're still stereotyping it. And I like to think of Faking It as a show that kind of breaks barriers, and yet they kind of just built one back up. Okay, and I'm going to read another piece of this article about Wade. So, if Wade was presented as a poly-bisexual interested in having a polyamorous relationship, it would be one thing, but the idea of Wade being poly eludes Faking It writers who instead paint him as a bisexual who just can't decide and is sexually greedy. Not that there's anything wrong with threesomes, just that bisexuals being prone to threesomes, which is not true. God, honestly, that sounds awful. Like, when people come up to you and are like, so do you like threesomes? Like, get the fuck out of my face. But yeah, since Wade can't decide between Karma and Shane, they decide to go as a threesome to prom. So instead of, you know, him deciding what he wants, they're like, let's have you not decide. You can go out on a date with both of us, and then we can have a threesome after prom, which didn't happen, thank God. Because he's still in love with his ex-girlfriend. It's the dumbest storyline ever. we're not gonna talk about it anymore. And then during the show, you hear a character called Shane say some really biphobic comments, so I'm going to read a couple of them off to you. Okay, so Shane says, the bi label is a step in the coming out process. It goes from drunken hookups, curious, full-blown gay, Elton John. that's biphobic. When you think that someone who is bisexual is just in the coming out process, I'm pretty sure they have it figured out that they have feelings towards this one and the other. Because you know if you don't have feelings towards something. Like, even if you're curious, you can, you know, be curious, but that's not bisexual. You know, and oh God, it's nasty. And it turns out I'm not the only one who feels like faking it is being biphobic. I am also really big on Tumblr. My Tumblr is zaymani.tumblr.com. There's a link for that below. So I also, you know, reblog a lot of faking it stuff, and I like to hear other people's opinions on the show. And I came across this post about faking it, and it's called MTV's Faking It, Big Bisexual Blunder. So I read the whole thing. I'm going to read off a little bit of it to you, and I will leave actually a link to the post below, so you guys can check that out too. But I'm going to read a little bit of it that really, like, resonated with, like, my entire life. The storyline shouldn't be problematic. It seems the writers are giving Amy space to figure out her sexuality, and in actuality, it paints bisexual youths as unsure of their sexuality. It's season 2, and we've seen Amy express feelings for both boys and guys without uttering the B word. She is left with the ambiguous "I don't do labels" box that bisexual characters are often placed in, a la Piper Chapman from Orange is the New Black. This isn't particularly new. Fictional characters of bisexual identities are hard to come by, and even those who do express attraction to more than one gender never utter the word bisexual. The rare times bisexual characters are found in the media, they are usually women who are riddled with inaccuracies and overtly offensive stereotypes. Faking It claims to be this open, like, show where being different and being not normal makes you popular, and yet we finally have, like, bisexual characters and they kind of make a mockery of them, and I just don't think that's fair, because to me it seems pretty obvious that, you know, Amy is bisexual. Like, it's just, like, it's written right there. She has feelings for boys. She has feelings for girls. And yet they won't necessarily talk about it. Like, they won't be like, you know what, it sounds like you're bisexual. Why don't you do some research? Why don't you figure it out? Because even though she's trying to figure out her sexuality, she's not really trying to figure it out. Like, I don't want to say it's bad writing, but it's bad writing. And I don't know if they're planning that for season 3, which is happening in 2016. It'll be like 10 episodes. I don't know, because it's just the whole thing. It feels like they're making a mockery out of it. And as a bisexual person, I find that kind of offensive, and I'm just waiting for them to clean it up. But the fact that Amy has dated boys, has slept with boys, and has slept with girls, and liked both of those things, still saying that she's not bisexual or even just a sexuality that has the attraction to more than one gender, I don't understand why. I feel like in a way they're just trying to waste people's time and to kind of make a fool out of, like, figuring out your sexuality, and it really bugs me. And I really hope someone can leave a comment below and try to make me feel better about this whole situation, because to me, I don't like it at all. I just don't. It's stupid, it's foolish, and I don't like it at all. And don't even get me started on the character Karma. Karma is the girl who was like, you know what, let's do it, let's pretend to be lesbians. And when she found out that Amy had feelings for her, as supportive as she was like, yeah, this isn't going to change our friendship or anything. If anything, she was being more hands-on and more touchy-feely, and even though she was with Liam for most of the past couple seasons, you could still tell that there was something going on with her and Karma and her and Amy, and it just, you could feel it, like, and if you watch the show as intently as I do, you start to realize that Karma gets jealous a lot. When Amy talks about Regan, she gets jealous. When she talks about Felix, she gets jealous. And even though she says, you know, I'm only, you know, doing this to look out for other people and to look out for you, it seems like she really has a problem with Amy being with other people, and that's kind of destructive because she's showing that she doesn't really want her to be with anyone else, but then Karma goes ahead and kisses her in the pool, kissed her first while she was drunk, and most people who are drunk do things that sober people wish they could. She still continues to say, no, I don't have feelings for you. And that in itself is just super destructive, and I'm so glad at the end of this season, Amy went off to like be a photographer for the band. That I don't even know what band that was. That was really not written well. Let's be honest. Because I have no idea who this band is. Maybe I just don't remember. So if you guys do, leave a comment below. Because honestly, I truly don't get it. There's a lot of things that I don't get with faking it. But there is going to be another season in 2016, 10 episodes. And hopefully they can clear everything up then. Because honestly, I don't really like where it's going. And I try my best to be like happy with any representation that I can get and that I can see and that I can be proud of, but it's kind of nasty right now and I don't like it. And I just hope it gets better because I did really like the show, especially season 1. I was in love with season 1, but now it's kind of just dragging on and I'm not really into that, and especially with like the biphobic comments. And it's always okay to have like a character who is like biphobic and stuff, but the whole like Wade situation where you can choose between Karma and Shane, it was bad taste. It was really bad taste in writing, and I hope we can clear everything up and I can, you know, continue to like the show because I'm starting to be like, ooh. So what do you guys think about faking it? Leave a comment below, tell me everything you think, and if you think the comments were biphobic and the entire character Wade was created with biphobic tendencies, leave a comment below. I would really love to have this conversation with you guys. Bye!